Well, we've noticed liquidity pick up in quite a number of stocks on AIM, particularly some of the mining stocks that we're closely involved in. And I think what we've seen today is that the auditorium was packed. A lot of new investors who we've been meeting afterwards, particularly quite a big and very receptive audience. I think these guys are, they're the value investors of London. They're taking control of their money. They're not blindly putting it into the places they used to put it into before. They're here taking command of it, and they know what they want to buy. It's a very interesting new world that we're in. I think as a market, yes, we have come off the bottom, and we've seen some good rises in some of the more interesting plays. There's still there's quite a lot of stock selection in this market. People don't want to buy anything that doesn't have a good story. It needs to have foundation. It needs to have good prospects. And these are savvy investors. They're following the charts, following the liquidity and the momentum, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think they also want to know, what's the company doing? Where's it operating? What does it plan to do? And how careful is it being with shareholder funds? Something that I didn't quite get to touch on this morning, but tin projects, zinc projects, copper projects, we just don't see enough of them now. There just are not enough new discoveries being made for the world going forwards. So there's a dearth here, and it needs to be filled, and it's the explorers who are going to do that. It would be wonderful to find some more mid-tier copper companies, but they never stay there long. Those projects either fail or they succeed and they go straight through into the FTSE 250 and the FTSE 100. Look at Antofagasta and the rise they had there. So if you can find a sort of small to mid-cap copper company with good prospects, the chances are it's going to make you very, very good money. Look at Altona in Australia. We'd love to have that one in London. And I think Finos, which just started trading today, very close by in Finland. We don't like to use the closeology thing, but actually I think they're quite likely to discover that sort of thing. So you've got a couple of 100 meters at over 2% copper. That's the type of thing that we're really interested in. But let's not forget, tin projects, very hard to find them in any form of economic grade. There are only a few around in the world. And what that says to us is that when the Indonesians run out of alluvial tin, and they're suffering quite a lot over there now, that's a market that has to go up. Global GDP is going to drive the demand. That is driven by investment in new industry, investment in new infrastructure. A lot's been made of what's going on in China, and Frank Holmes talked about the new Chinese railway network, the high-speed passenger network. We focused on rail again, but on what's going on in Africa and the United States. Great to see these things happening. The infrastructure is being driven by a need to connect mines in Africa, heavy duty, bulk commodities, iron ore and coal and manganese and those sorts of things. In the States, there's a new desire to get people out of their cars and travel more comfortably and faster on high-speed trains. Billions to be invested, many, many billions. We're not arguing that the amount of steel to be used is going to change the world. Clearly it's a bit of a driver, but that's for iron ore. Rail steel doesn't use too many other commodities, a bit of manganese and vanadium and this and that, depending on the quality of steel. But it's the rolling stock, it's the stations, it's all the paraphernalia that goes around it, and then it's the new economic generation that creates. $1 on a road in Tanzania creates $9 of household income in Tanzania. Very similar numbers in the UK and the US. Huge numbers of jobs to be created. People shouldn't forget the UK economic growth was on the back of railroad development. And so there's a lot more of this to come in Africa and the US and elsewhere. The value is to connect with investors. The man in the street who's looking, for ideas. He's not going to pick up on any bad ideas, I hope. I think they're really looking for good ideas. These guys have got a wealth of experience. They come out of all sorts of industries. They know what they're doing, and it's smart money looking for smart ideas. And there are a lot, the miners that we see here, they're the guys that come out of the bush, they come out of where they've been operating and beavering away and working really hard at it, and they're looking just to connect with the analysts like myself, the financiers and the fund managers and the investors. And I think the AIM market provides a fantastic forum for these guys to then get together and trade afterwards. So it's a very valuable event.